Would Jesus delete his social media? I'll be honest, if you're a teenager, cutting all social media out of your life sounds simple until you actually try it. I haven't managed it myself. There are moments I genuinely want to wipe every app off my phone, but a few things hold me back. Take Snapchat, for instance. I think it's mostly a waste of time, yet I keep it around because it's how my family stays connected. Through a group chat, everywhere you turn, someone's telling you the answer is to quit these platforms cold turkey. I don't buy that it's the only path forward. Walking away completely can be one of the wisest choices a person makes. Paul tells us to set our minds on what is true, noble, and pure, Philippians 4:8, and sometimes obedience to that looks like a clean break. But I also know how hard that is when everyone around you lives on their phone. So let's actually answer the question in the title. Would Jesus delete his social media? Look at how he lived. He didn't isolate himself from people who were far from God. He went where they were. He sat at Levi's dinner table with tax collectors and men living in open sin, Matthew 9:10-11. He talked with a Samaritan woman at a well in the middle of the day, in a conversation his own disciples were shocked by, John 4:27. He was even accused of being a friend of tax collectors and sinners, Matthew 11:19, not because he loved what they did, but because he loved who could still be reached. Every gathering he walked into had one aim underneath it, seeking and saving the lost. That's the real question with social media, then, not is this platform good or bad, but why am I here? Paul said he became all things to all people, not to gain anything for himself, but so that he might by all means save some, 1 Corinthians 9:22. If your presence on these apps has that same aim, encouraging someone, pointing someone back to truth, being light in a genuinely dark feed, that's a very different thing from scrolling because you're bored or chasing validation. Jesus went to the gatherings sinners went to for the sake of the gospel, not for personal gain. The platform isn't the problem. The posture is. And this is exactly where it gets uncomfortable, because if you can't control yourself while you're there, none of that noble reasoning matters. Paul didn't say he floated above temptation effortlessly. He said, I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, 1 Corinthians 9:27. That's a fight, not a given. So if scrolling turns into comparison, lust, jealousy, or hours vanishing that you'll never get back, that's not a for the sake of the gospel use of social media anymore. That's a body not under subjection. And the Bible doesn't tell us to just white knuckle our way through that kind of pull. It tells us to flee youthful lusts, 2 Timothy 2:22, not negotiate with them, not sit close to them and hope for willpower. Flee means you move, you create distance before the moment you need it most. So here's what that looks like practically. Start by removing the apps from your phone entirely, keeping access only through a computer. That extra friction alone kills a lot of the temptation. No computer available? Use built-in screen time limits instead. Beyond that, create physical distance, leave your phone in another room while you're focused on homework, prayer, or anything that demands your attention. Paul's charge in Romans 12:2, not to be shaped by the patterns of this world, often starts with decisions this small and unglamorous. Here's the truth about endless scrolling. It usually isn't drawing us in because it's so compelling. It's filling a gap left by boredom. Next time that restless itch hits, resist the urge to numb it with a screen. Let the quiet stay quiet for a bit. Psalm invites us to be still and know that I am God. Stillness isn't wasted time. It's often the exact space God uses to get our attention. All that reclaimed time has to go somewhere good. Pour it into something you've always wanted to pursue. For me, that turned out to be making videos. I'd wanted to for ages, but my phone kept eating the hours I needed. If you're not sure where to begin, try setting 3 simple targets each day, one for your mind, one for your body, one for your spirit. Sharpen your mind through study. Move your body with a walk. and feed your spirit through prayer or time in Scripture. James 4:8 promises that when we draw near to God, He draws near to us. That's worth prioritizing. Set aside 1 hour every day. That's entirely yours to spend as you choose. Placing it earlier in the evening before your wind down routine means you still get time to rest afterward. The key is order. Deal with what matters most first. Matthew 6:33 puts it plainly, seek His kingdom first, and everything else falls into place. Once you've honored your priorities, that hour of freedom comes without a shred of guilt attached. You close the day, not drained but at peace, knowing you spent it well and used well what could have so easily used you instead.